What's your name? Your full name?
Chukunonso David Mologu. Mologu.
That's your surname?
Yes, sir.
Chukunonso?
David Mologu.
Mologu?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the name of this child?
Chinecherem Chukunonso.
The surname is?
Yes, Chukunonso.
Chukunonso.
Yes.
It is bearing your name?
Yes, sir.
Good. Immediately he was born, your name was transferred to him.
Yes, sir.
Now, of course you have a land, an inherited land in your village or something. Will you give him some?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Good. But I want to ask, can this child step into a land he has inherited at this age? Why? He's a child. Now look at this. What God has given you as a believer is not automatic. You must grow into it. Even though you are born again and born into the family of God, you must now understand that until you grow into that inheritance, it will not be handed over to you. That's why when Paul was writing, he said that a child differeth not from a servant until he grows. And ear, he used the word ear, that is hair, differeth not from a servant until he grows. So certain dimensions of growth must happen for this child to handle what is it. He doesn't even understand. Doesn't understand that he has a land. So the first thing you communicated when this child was born was your name. Every believer was surnamed from God. The second thing is your inheritance. But there is something that will make this inheritance his. Even if this child grows, it's not your portion. If a child grows and starts going wayward against the rudiments and the protocols of the family, even an inheritance can be taken away from the child. So the third thing that is given to this child is responsibility. But this time the father does not spell the responsibility. It is the responsibility that determines whether the child is fit for the inheritance or not. So when we got born again, God gave us his name. He gave us his inheritance. But until we grow into the responsibility of sonship, we cannot receive what is given. So do you know what God did? The Bible shows us in 1 Peter chapter 1 verse number 3 that these blessings are reserved in heavenly places. He said, for he has blessed us with all blessings in heavenly places. And also Ephesians 1:3, in heavenly places. So it is our responsibility on earth that converts this blessing into the earth realm. But you can be blessed and not access it because you have not grown. This child, the father can have 15 cars but cannot give him a key to drive. He doesn't even know how to drive. Even at 6 years he can't drive, even though the cars are his, because he has not grown. So there are things you are praying for God to give to you that you have not been able to receive because you have not grown into receiving them. Until growth happens, God cannot hand it over. A man will write his will and say, so child that is this age, hold this inheritance for him until he comes of age. When he becomes 27, give him this inheritance. He knows that prior to 27, this child couldn't have managed it. So a lot of people are not in the dimensions of the glory of God that God has pre-intended for them in predestination, not because God does not want it, but because they have not grown into it. So until growth happens, they cannot have access to it. So you are telling the Lord, give me this. The Lord is asking you to grow. Lord, release this. He's telling you to grow. Lord, do this in my life. He's telling you to grow. Unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. You don't born a son. A child is born. It is not the decision of that child to make up his mind to become a son or not. It is responsibility that matures sons. Not unto us a son is born, unto us a child is born. But this child, through the crucibles of responsibility, will now come to the maturation of sonship. Aye. And until that happens, he cannot have the full access of what God has available for him. So the first Adam lost the inheritance. The second Adam came. So until we now come to Jesus, we cannot have what we have lost.
Before they came, Jesus, you have been here.